now. Okay. Hi, welcome everyone. I'm Shichi and I'll be your host for this session. Thank you for taking your time to participate in our Zoom Women Healthcare Series webinar. I would like to briefly touch on what we do in our organization. One World, One Family's mission is to help students and workers with difficulties during this pandemic. We also provide peer counseling program provided by Lisa Ng, a licensed and registered counselor every Friday or Sunday. We will leave our Instagram and website details in the Zoom chat. And without being said, we would like to offer you this session and hopefully you get something out of this. Okay, without further ado, let's welcome our speaker. She is a 25 years old nutritionist and she has her own company, ZINZINO, and has been doing this for 6 years. She is also a fellow music artist as well. So welcome, Natalie.
Thank you so much. I'm truly happy to be here. And I think women empowerment is such an important thing. We should empower women globally because that is truly needed. So I'm happy that I get to be here to talk about nutrition. That is one of my favorite topics, one of the things that I'm truly passionate about. So, and maybe if you could stop sharing the screen so then people can see as well. Great. So I hope that everything is good with all of you. If you're interested in nutrition, please just write yes in the chat because it's good to know and to see your engagement as well, since we're not in the same room, but we're doing this online. So I'm happy if you're writing in the chat today. And if there is anything, just write in the chat. And if I can't answer those questions during this meeting, I'm happy to do it afterwards as well. I would also like to know where you're joining from or where you are from. So please write that in the chat as well. But I'm going to start to share screen with you immediately. You're going to hear about my story. And I'm also going to share some important knowledge related to food that I really think you should know, because there's so much that we can do. And I can already see that you're writing from Bangladesh, Malaysia, Seychelles, Japan. That is great. So welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm gonna start sharing right now. So I hope that you can see this. My name is Natalie Carrion, and I'm a nutritionist, I'm a music artist, and I love life. Shortly, that's me. And here you can see my contact details as well, so you can see my email address. Maybe someone can write that in the chat as well. It would be appreciated. So nataliecarrions@gmail.com. If there is anything you would like to ask me afterwards. I also have Instagram and LinkedIn, so feel that you can connect with me there. But now let's talk wellness. We'll see. Yes, so if I'm going to share my journey, I live in Sweden, so that is in Scandinavia, and I live in the north of Sweden in a town called Umeå. So I used to say, if you look at the map on Sweden, it's like a long country, so just like a body, and I live right where the heart is. So I really like it here. My father, he was from the Caribbean. So I have family all over the US, and my mother, she was from the indigenous people here in Sweden. How they met? Well, my mother, she was on a vacation in Florida and she was looking for some dolphins, but she couldn't find any dolphins. So she walked out on a pier and still she didn't see the dolphins, but she found a fisherman and he moved to Sweden, and that fisherman was my father. So I actually wrote a song about that you can listen to as well if you have any streaming channels. It's called Banana River. Well, I grew up with the Latino music very close to me. My father always played music when I was going to school. He played so much music, and I felt very cool when he was driving in. And my mother, she has always been singing for me. And when I was 15 years old, it just came to me that I want to be a part of a change in this world. I want to be a world changer. And I also want to be a global music artist. It's so easy to think that you're just a drip in the sea. What can I actually do? But I want you to remember that if there wouldn't be any drips, there wouldn't be any sea. So there is so much we can do. We just need to start believing in it. And of course, also act on our vision. So I took my guitar, I went into the town, and I started playing. And I can tell you that I was shaking so much, I couldn't even stand up. I was so nervous. And when we walk into new things, even though it's what we want to do, it can sometimes feel scary, but we need to let our vision be the driving force and not let our fears limit us. So I was shaking, but I was staying there. And I can tell you it was not my best performance at all, but it was my most important one. And I went back the day and the day after that and the day after that. And by doing that, I built up a network and I built up a music career that I'm continuing to develop right now. So I'm a singer and I write music as well. Now, I had my health journey as well. So actually, when I was around 17, 18, I had some challenges mentally. So I was feeling extremely low. I was not feeling good at all. And I also had pain in my body. And I actually came to a point where I asked myself, do I want to live or not? But I decided life. So I asked for help and I found the tools and I realized how important personal development is. I realized how important the food is. And that's when I also knew that I want to work with health. I want to work with nutrition. I want to inspire change in life in different areas. And I think that's what an entrepreneur is. It's not only one thing, it's a lot of things. So when I summarize what I do 100% music, I do 100% health, and I do 100% life. And those are the things that makes me to who I am. So I'm not going to talk anything more about the music today, but I'm happy if you want to go in and listen to my music. But I'm going to talk about the things that really made a change in my well-being so that I also can be a healthy, happy music artist. So nutrition, that is essential. And nutrition is the study of nutrients in the food, how the body uses them, and the relationship between diets and health. So the nutrients are used to keep your body healthy and your immune system strong. So the nutrients are super important and you use them for energy. So we need to get the right food to feel energy. And maybe some of you here have felt some days you don't have that energy. And often it can be related to food. Of course, it can also be related to your mental well-being. And then, well, that's another session talking about mindset and attitude. You use the nutrients, or most nutrients comes from what you eat. So once again, the food is very important. And if we go back to this energy part, you can see here on the right side, I wrote that the energy. So how is that energy used? It's used for growth, for maintenance, for repair, and maintain a normal body functions. So food isn't just something, it's very important. Now, these nutrients, they are separated into different parts, and one of them is the carbohydrates. So I would say here, of course, depending on where you are, the carbohydrates are your body's main source of energy. You can use fat as well, so I will talk more about that. But for people that are exercising over a long time, it's good to have the carbohydrates because you need to fill up with some more energy. So, and also it's a chemical composed of one or more simple sugars. So you've all hopefully heard of sugar, and it's quite addictive as well. We like sugar. If we start eating some candy, it's easy to eat some more, for an example. If we start eating some cake, we often want to eat some more. Can you agree with me on that one? But if we would do a kind of a detox on the simple sugars, we don't feel that need of eating those faster carbohydrates no longer. So simple sugars, it's like the table sugar. It's easy to digest and it gives your body fast energy. So this is not the best sugar if you want to maintain a good blood sugar. But let's say for me, for an example, if I'm going to exercise, then I need those more easier sugar, those that are easier to digest, and that gives my body the fast energy. So then I can take a banana before. Or when I feel low in blood sugar and I need something really fast to just get it increased, and then I can take a banana. So that's my example. I wouldn't eat sugar. Now, the complex ones are where most of your carbs should come from. So most of your carbs should be complex. And they are made of many sugar molecules. So it means that they are harder to digest, and they gives your body energy over time. And I would say that this is what we want. We don't want those up and downs during the days, because it doesn't only affect how we feel, but it also affects how we act towards other people. It also affects how we do our works. So an example of this is to eat food that contains a lot of fibers. So this is something you should definitely do, and also a lot of different vegetables. And related to the vegetables, I was listening to a podcast where they talked about the blue zones. And I don't know if you're familiar with the blue zones, but these are unique places in the world. So for an example, an island connected to Japan is part of the blue zones. You can find the blue zones in Greece, for an example, a small part of Greece and so on, where they see that the people who lives there, they live overall longer than most people do. They are less stressed and they are happy. So when they talked about this, they said that a good thing is to eat 30 different types of vegetables during, or beans and so on, during 1 week. It could also be herbs. So that's probably a life hack, I hope. I'm trying to do that. Now, let's talk about fats. So it's the energy storage nutrients. And we get energy from fats. And as I said, most people get energy from carbohydrates. If you look at the blue zones where people live for a longer time, at some places over 50% of their energy can come from olive oil. So olive oil is a better type of fats, and it also helps the body to store vitamins. So we need fats, and we need the good fats. If you're exercising a lot, if you're exercising over, I would say, if you do over 2 hours exercise, if you do even more than 1 hour of exercise, it can be hard to use only fat as an energy source. But fat is something that is really good if you eat the right fats. So saturated fat, it is one of the unhealthy fats along with trans fats. And these fats are most often solid at room temperature. And foods like butter, palm oil, coconut oil, cheese, and red meats, they have high amounts of saturated fat. So I would say one of the main things we could think about to eat less of, it's definitely the red meat. And if we look at the unsaturated fat, so this is very good fat. They are liquid at room temperature and considered beneficial fats because they can improve the blood cholesterol levels, ease inflammation, stabilize heart rhythms, and play a number of other beneficial roles. So olive oil, avocados, nuts, and so on, those are fats that we can eat a lot of. So don't be afraid of fats, but know what kind of fat that you are eating. Then we have protein. That's another kind of nutrients. And those are the building blocks for our body. The proteins, they are some different amino acids gathered together, if I'm going to explain it in a shorter version. So you can definitely get the proteins you need eating as a vegan as well, but it requires that you do some combination. For an example, rice and beans. Then you combine those amino acids so you get the full amounts that you need for your body. If you eat egg, for an example, then you only need to eat egg for you to take up the protein in its full version. So protein can also provide energy, but less than carbohydrates. And they also build and repair tissues. So these proteins as well are very important for us. And you probably heard as well that when you exercise, it's good to eat proteins afterwards for your body to build up those muscles that we need. If we look at the vitamins, if we talk about vitamins and minerals, these are called micronutrients. And it's called micronutrients because we need this in a smaller amount. But still, these are very, very much needed. So it helps to keep your body healthy, and it's organic compounds that control the body function. So for an example, growth and repair of our cells. So how important is growth and repair of our cells? Let me tell you this. We don't have just one cell in our body. We have a lot of them. We're built upon cells. So the cellular health is crucial for well-being and for our normal body functions. And we have two types of vitamins, fat soluble and water soluble. So be good at drinking water. Most people should drink much more water than they do today. So try to make that a habit. And you also have the fat soluble. So that was what I talked about earlier. The fat is also important for us to take up the vitamins that we're eating. And now if we look into the minerals, it helps to regulate the activities of the cell. So once again, these micronutrients are crucial for our cells' well-being. It helps to keep your bones, muscles, heart, and brain working properly. And the minerals are also important for making enzymes and hormones. So just by making changes in our diet, it can actually be life-changing as well. If you have health challenges, if you're feeling low in energy or mentally. So this should definitely be the first step, no matter if you have health challenges or not. Make sure you get good nutrients for your body. And we can look at our health from different perspective, and I hope that this is what I can give to you today, a good perspective of health. And it can definitely be, or for a lot of people, I would say it's about changing our mindset, how we look at food. We have a lot of fast food, half fabricated food that is available. And a lot of times we eat without thinking. It's like it's just food. We just need to eat it so we can feel full and then continue the rest of our day. But I would like all of you right now to ask yourselves, what do I want? So over time, in 20 years, in 30 years, in 40 years, in 5 years, in 2 years, what do you want? What do you want to feel? As an entrepreneur, I'm really excited about working, growing, and I always said that I want to have a lot of money, because I know that with money, we can make a change for people globally. But if we have a lot of money and not our health, then I would say it's worth nothing. So what do you want? What do you want to feel? And when people set goals related to health, it can also be, it can a lot of times be, well, I would like to lose this amount of pounds in 10 weeks. And then you see that chocolate bar and you eat it. Because your goal isn't strong enough. Your vision isn't strong enough. So those distractions will come and they will get you. If you instead visualize, well, so if I could lose these pounds, or if I could gain these pounds, or if I could do this within these 10 weeks, then I will have a strong body. So when I meet my kids or my sister's kids or whatever, I'm strong enough to lift them and do what I want. And I have the energy so I can be with them. I have the energy so I can be a good friend, and I feel much more happy and joyful. And that is the most important thing. And I can see myself doing this. So you understand, this is an important part, not only related to food, but when you set your goals, make sure you can visualize them, make sure you can feel them and see them in front of you. So when you meet those challenges, when you meet those distractions, you can just say, well, no, my goal is too important for me to eat this chocolate cake. My goal is too important for me to not go out for that run, and so on. So change your mindset, think more long-term and think more preventive. It's not a quick fix to work with our health. You should definitely do a commitment to take care of yourself over a long time. And once again, ask yourself, what do I want? Before I continue this presentation, I'm just going to go back to you to see if there was any questions. And no, there wasn't. So then I'm going to continue. I can just see that we have Zimbabwe here as well. So that is great. And some more people have been joining. So welcome. I'm going to talk now about fats specifically. So I have been working with ZINZINO as a company for 6 years as an independent partner. So I do this through my own company. And I think it's really, it was really an eye opener for me when I got this presentation specifically related to fats, and hopefully it can be an eye opener for you as well to make some other decisions. ZINZINO is a Swedish listed company, and I think that is important. Then there isn't transparency in the numbers. And I have really big trust in the visions that they have. And I think with the goal to inspire change in life, we are going to inspire people in many different levels. We just launched, so I have been working towards Hong Kong and India. We just launched in Malaysia, and we're looking forward to expand even more in Asia. So if you feel after I've been going through this that, well, this is something that I think would be interesting to share, I would like to be part of this, or I know someone that would be really interested to be part of this, then let me know, because we're expanding the team. We're focusing a lot on personal growth in your goals, what we can do, and to inspire change in many people's lives in Asia. So just let me know afterwards if that is interesting for you. So we want to feel good, we want to stay fit and be healthy. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that you all agree with me on that one. And I would say that is no matter where in the world you are. But at the same time, the health-related problems are increasing, and they are going down to lower ages. And so I don't know all of you that's on the call today. I hope that I get to do it over time. But do you have any health issues? Or do you know someone that have health issues? It could be allergies, it could be related to blood pressure, it could be diabetes. You know, there is a lot of welfare diseases out there today. And it's time to ask why these health-related problems are increasing. And of course, this is affected by many different parts. It's related to the kind of work we do, the kind of relationships that we have. I'm just gonna admit a person here. The kind of relationships that we have, if we're exercising or not, and then of course the food. And before I continue to talk about the food, relationships is super important. So be good at connecting with new people all the time, because that is beneficial for our well-being. They can see on studies that people that are alone, the risk for welfare diseases are increasing radically. So it's important with relationships. And the other part is exercising. Do you exercise? If you don't, please commit to me right now that you're going to be better on doing that. So if you feel now when I talk that you are committed to change the way you look at your health and the way you take care of yourself, please write in the chat, I am committed. Exercising is very important. So to be out running, for an example, that's something that's very good for our heart. And also make sure you're working with your strength so that your body is strong, because it's carrying you all the time. You need to take care of it. Your heart is beating for you every day. Your body is holding you up every day. So what do you give back to your body? Let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. So we've known for a long time that the food is super important for our well-being. And we used to eat good food from Mother Nature. And this food, so listen to me here, this food was good. It was full of vitamins and minerals and these phyto and micronutrients that I talked about, fibers, the healthy fats, and a good balance between omega-6 and omega-3. Today, we eat man-made food. So maybe that happened to you at some point, that you ate man-made food. Fast food, it's more cheap, it goes very fast. Half fabricated food, it's the same thing. It's easy to just buy it, cook it, and eat it. But what happens when it goes so much faster? Well, this food is lower in nutrition density. It's high in sugars. And when I talk about sugars, I talk about these fast sugars that helps our blood pressure to raise fast, but we don't maintain that blood sugar levels over time. Many empty calories, low in fibers and less healthy fats, and we have an imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3. So even though you have been eating a meal and you feel full after eating it, it doesn't mean you got the right nutrients that your body needs to maintain the good functions or your energy. And the thing with the food today is that we grow the seeds, the vegetables much faster today than we did before. And so even the vegetables, even though we're eating vegetables and fruits, it doesn't mean that it contains the nutrients as well. Now, if we look at the history of omega-6 and omega-3 specifically, so these are fatty acids. These are essential. So we need them and we get them through the food that we're eating. And maybe some of you have heard about omega-3. When I listened to this, I have heard about omega-3. I knew that it was good and I didn't know anything more. So omega-6, that is something we get from vegetable oil. So you find it a lot in sunseed, flower oil, in palm oil, and in corn oil. And omega-3 is something we get from avocados, from fish, from algae, so the food that the fishes are eating. We get it from chia seeds and so on. So omega-3, it's like a family, but listen to me now. The omega-3 that we mainly need, it is the marine omega-3. So the one you get from fish, or from the food that the fishes are eating, for an example, so from algae. So we can't replace that omega-3 with avocados, but we should get all of the range. A lot of the fish that we're eating today, it's farmed fish. So it's fed with some different food, which means that we don't get the same nutrients from the farmed fish as from the wild-caught fish. And the fish that we then should choose, it's fish from cold waters. So science today recommends a balance of not more than 3 times more omega-6 than omega-3. The turning point, of course, depending on where you look, what country you look at, it was in the 60s, if we look at Scandinavia. And today the average in Europe is 15 times more omega-6 than omega-3. In Asia, I would say, of course, it looks different depending on what country you look at. In Hong Kong, I would say they would keep this average. In India, it has been between 30 to 50 times more omega-6 than omega-3. In the US, it has been 25 times more omega-6 than omega-3. So if we look at the history, the numbers are increasing, and this is where we need to make a change. And this is why I need some more people to work with as well, that would be happy to share this health concept. We lack key nutrients and we have an imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3. And as I talked about earlier, our cells, it's super important that our cells are healthy and that they get to function in a correct way. So if we lack the important omega-3, we get the reduced function in our cells, and this is not what we want, but this is what happens. So our cell membranes, they become hard and rigid. So the nutrients comes in slowly and the waste products comes out slowly. And to achieve healthy cell membranes. So would you like a healthy cell membrane? Please write yes if that's what you want. That's something that I want at least, and I hope to get 18 yeses here because I want you to understand that our cells' well-being is extremely important for us to feel good and stay healthy over time as well, and that is what we want. So if we have the right amount of omega-3, we get a normal function in our cells. So our cell membranes, they become soft and flexible, so the nutrients gets in easily and the waste products comes out easily. Are you in the danger zone? I don't know if you have asked yourself that question, because often we think about our health that I'll wait until I get sick, then I go searching for help. I hope that all of you get to be healthy today, but I don't want you to get sick before you start making a change. So are you in the danger zone? You want to have a ratio that is not more than 3 times more omega-6 than omega-3. Where you probably are, it's around 15:1. If you have kids, they are probably worse. Before I continue here, I haven't got 18 yeses when I asked if you think that your cells are important. So I hope that I get some more yeses along the way. So would you like to take a test and find out your result? This is the question I got 6 years ago, and I didn't know that I could take a test to see the balance between my fatty acids. So this is what I did. Just as on the picture, I pricked my finger, I added the drops of blood on those 2 circles, and I sent it to an independent laboratory for analysis to see if my body was in balance or not. And we have performed, now it's even over 700,000 tests. So that is a lot of blood tests that has been done. And what we have seen, before I show you that, this is the laboratory that is analyzing the test. So it's called Vitus Analytical Services. So they are official partners of Harvard University, for an example, Massachusetts General Hospital, University of Cambridge. So yes, this is a well-known laboratory. They don't get any personal details. So this test is totally anonymous. And you have a test code and they have a test code. And after around 14 days, you receive your test result online. So you get to see that. So you get to see it on your phone or on your computer. And I used to say it's like you're checking if you have red light or green light. When I took my test, I had a balance of around 12:1. And when I knew that this is very important for my joints, I had challenges with my joints. So I wanted to give them the right opportunities. And this is very important for the brain as well. I just knew that I need to make a change to give my body the love that it deserves. So on the test, you get to see your omega-6 to 3 balance, your protection value, your omega-3 index. And the omega-3 index is, you really need to have a good omega-3 index. It recently came a study from the US where they related not having a good omega-3 index as dangerous as smoking. So this was a really interesting study, but they're doing different studies and we know that the omega-3 index is very important. And that is one thing that we measure and that we also make sure to change if you have a too low percentage of omega-3. Your mental strength index, your cell membrane fluidity. So you also get to track your personal results and your progress. So in details, this is our findings. If we look at the test we have been taking in Europe, because that is where we have been taking most of the tests, 5% is eating in the way that keeps them in balance. 20% is already taking an omega-3 supplement. I don't know if you have been taking an omega-3 supplement. If you have, please just write omega-3. So then I can see that. It's always interesting to know. But 20% has been taking an omega-3 supplement since before, and they have an average on 7:1. So that average is too high. And it's because there are so many supplements out there. So it's hard to know what is working and what is not working. And omega-3 gets bad very quickly. So it can be bad before you have eaten it or on the way to your cells. But most people are not in balance. So what can we do to fix this problem? So we have gathered a scientific advisory board with some of the brightest minds in the field. So if you're into nutrition since before, you probably recognize some of these names. I would definitely recommend you to look into more of what Dr. Paul Clayton do, for an example. He has a blog as well with a lot of interesting reading. So what we do is that we bring people back into balance in 120 days. And that is when the blood cells has renewed. And we do this with our test-based formula. So this is what I'm so happy that we got to take from Scandinavia now into Asia. We have just started, but I'm looking forward to see the health benefits for people. So this is not only an omega-3 blend, because you remember I talked about the importance of these marine omega-3s. It's called EPA and DHA. So you get it in this one, but they also added olive oil, another very good source of fats that contains polyphenols. And these polyphenols, they are very good for our well-being. They help to protect us from oxidative stress, but it also helps the omega-3 to be stable all the way to our cells. And we dosage by weight and there is no oxidation. So this is a test-based formula. So people don't need to guess if it's working. We actually track the progress for each individual to see what happens for them. It's all natural, and it doesn't taste bad fish. I would say it tastes like olive oil with orange, for an example, or lemon. And think about this like the food that you miss in your fridge, because if you're unbalanced, it means that you don't get enough through the diet that you're eating. So this isn't instead of eating good food, but this is like the food that you miss in your fridge. So add it to your food account. It's made with the highest quality as well, and that is super important for us. And we have seen that if you compare this one to other types of omega-3 products, the stability index is very high. And it's because of the olive polyphenols and also the natural vitamin E. And the result is that 95% of those taking the balanced products, they have a ratio of near 3:1 after 120 days. And that is amazing. And that's why I'm so passionate about doing this. That's why I decided to work with this as well, because I actually know that it makes a change. And the whole world knows that this is something that people need. So it's important at every stage of life, from being a fetus in the womb until we get super old, and the cells are renewed over time. So this is something we need to continue doing. And since this is an event, especially for the ladies here, I want you to think about if someone is pregnant or knows someone that is pregnant, or you will go through a pregnancy in the future. Make sure I'm just going to take that away. Make sure that you give your body the right fats, because for your brain to function well, you need to have these fats. When you're carrying a child, this child will take, I'm just gonna stop this one that is popping up, it's okay. Your child will take the nutrients that it needs, and it needs these fats. So do your body have the right opportunities to function well while you're carrying a child? And as well afterwards, when you're breastfeeding the child, make sure that you take care of yourself. And of course, it's also important for the development of that little child. So these health claims are approved by EFSA. So these are things that we know. It helps to contribute to normal brain function. So this is important. This is important for everybody to contribute to normal brain function, to contribute to normal heart function and immune function. We need to support our immune function, especially our innate immune system that is taking care of infections. The normal vision, our teeth, the bone structure, it helps to contribute to a normal blood pressure, our cell division, our normal muscle function, and the cholesterol, it helps to protect our cells against oxidative stress. So it's so many benefits with getting into good levels of omega-3. And we can see that there is a lot of well-known athletes as well that is using the balanced oil. So reaching a balance between omega-6 and omega-3, it is the first step to make sure that we have a good fluidity so that our cells can function properly, our brain and our heart as well. If we look at ZINZINO as a company, for you that are interested to look more into it, it could be interesting for you maybe to share this. ZINZINO is a Swedish company, and we can see that it's important as well that the products are made on Iceland and in Norway. So it's very high quality. We're listed at Nasdaq First North, so it means that we have transparency in the numbers. And I think that is important when we start to work even more globally as well. We have launched 37 markets, but we also have something called a global web shop, which means that we can reach out to most of the countries that is joining today. We have been growing a lot, and that is important so that we can put some money back into the company to grow as the company we want to be. We want to be the most customer-friendly direct sales company in the world. So we want to give a good service. We want people to feel happy when they are connected with us. We want people to see the benefits themselves. And we want to inspire change in all parts of lives. So therefore, we also, as a company, give back to charity. So now this number has increased to 1,000 students in India that we help to go to school every year. And the goal is to have 1 million kids to go to school to 2050. So we can make changes in the financial situation for those people who works with us that has other dreams and visions and that want a change in their life. We can change the health of so many people with test and with the balance oil. And we can give back to charity to inspire change in so many people's lives. And I don't think you need to be a politician to be a world changer. So remember that. I think we all can definitely be a part of a change in this world. So the option related to what I talked about, it's either to become a customer, and that is what most people do. They become customer, they start taking the test, and they start using the oil. But there is also an option to become a partner to share this concept. And then I want you to be long-term. I want you to be driven. I want you to be hungry in developing, because then I will be part of mentoring you along the way as well, to grow in leadership and how to do this work. So there are two options. And if you want to work with this as well, I want you to ask yourself why you would like to do this. Because if a person don't have a why reason to do this, I think it's so much better to just consume the products and be happy with this. But if it's because you want to inspire other people, if it's because you want to grow as a person, if it's because you want to own your time to do what you're passionate about doing, or create a different financial situation, then becoming a partner could be an interesting part. Inspire change in life, that is what we do on all different stages. And I want to say thank you for tuning in. I will get back to you as well to see what you have been writing. But feel free to contact me once again at nataliecarrions@gmail.com. And I'm happy if you want to follow me at Instagram. And then my name is Natalie Carrion's Official. That is my artist page. And Carrion Health, that is my health page. And I also have LinkedIn. So I'm so happy if you're writing to me after this with your thoughts, with your questions, whatever it is. And I truly want to say thank you for listening today. It makes me so happy to see that you are committed. I can see in the chat that you wrote, I am committed, because it's your commitment that is required. No one can change your life for you. You need to be the one that takes command, that creates the actual change. And also accept that life is all inclusive. So we're going to meet challenges during our lives. We're going to meet happy times during our lives. Life is all inclusive. But don't let the wind take you. Make sure that you work with the wind and create the life and the lifestyle that you want to have, because you are in control. And when you realize that, when you take action, your life will become as beautiful as you want it to be. So thank you so much.